Why I decided to do this. Hello guys, welcome to today's video. And today I'm going to be doing something that, to be honest, might not be a good idea, but might be a good idea at the same time. I also moved my face cam if you noticed, so you guys can see it more, but obviously as you can see on the screen, we are doing a knife tier list. When I said in my welcome video, I said that CS was one of my favorite games. And of course, with CS, the main thing that you have to remember is always in CS is knives. Because you can't tell me when you started playing, you first played and, you were playing your casual match because, for some reason you have a level system, which, I mean, kind of makes sense in a way because, you do got to get a certain level to play ranked. But you always remember the one first knife you see. You see someone rocking that beautiful ass knife, and you're just wondering how you get it. Let's say like a butterfly fade, for example. You see that beautiful butterfly knife, that fade butterfly knife, that color. You're just like, oh my gosh. I'm just using this as an example. And then you check the price, and then you realize that's your entire life savings if you do that. Anyways, we're gonna be doing a tier list. This is a tier list of at least what I rank these knives. So I just want to let everyone know, my word is not. I'm not the word. All right. I could be saying a completely weird opinion that one knife is better than another, but I am not the word. So just know that whatever I rank these knives, all right, it's just my opinion. You can put whatever knife you want in S tier in your opinion. That's up to you. This is just my tier list on what I think. And I know it's probably going to look stupid, but hey, sometimes you got to own up to your own opinions. So yeah. Anyways, we're going to start from what I think is the worst to the best. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started on this shit show. The first knife, Navajo, bottom of D. I mean, I really feel like there's no explaining why this is the way this is. The Navajo is just, I don't know, it's fucking shit. The pull-out animations, the animations in general to me are shit. And I feel like even when you put like a thing on the knife, like even if you got like a fade on the knife, even if you got like a Doppler on the knife still looks like it looks a little better, but still looks like shit. Plus, like the coloring isn't even really on it. It's like a little bit of a coloring. So yeah, and like the Navajo is also, I don't know if your guys' parents did this, but when I was a kid, I got given my first pocket knife. All right, the Navajo is what I feel like I would have gotten as my first pocket knife. I just like I said, don't know. This knife is shit to me. I don't like it. It's fucking tiny as shit with shit animations. Yeah, that's just my personal opinion though. I just don't like the Navajo at all. Next up, Shadow Daggers. Guys, these knives are dog shit. I can't explain it other than these are dog shit. And I don't know if the word would be able to be used on YouTube, but I don't even consider. It's hard for me to even remember these are called shadow daggers because they're called one other thing most of the time that I don't even know if I could say. So yeah, shadow daggers are just shit. The only time I have seen shadow daggers look good is someone posted a combo where it was the default shadow dagger knives with black tie gloves, I think, black tie gloves, black and white, with the um I think like the Tux agents for T side. That is the only time I have seen a shadow dagger look cool. Not good, cool. But that is about the only time I've seen shadow daggers look good. Every other shadow daggers though, they just I don't like. Plus, I don't know if they still do this, but when you pull them out, they like move your fucking screen. Like it's just stupid to me. I can't. To be honest, those are my only D tier knives. These are the only knives I think that are absolutely terrible, and I think any other of these would be way better than these personally. It's just, these knives are just dog shit to me. I can't. So yeah. Anyways, we are going to start now putting these knives in C tier. So a little bit higher. So they're not the absolute worst, but they're not the best either, and a little bit lower. So yeah, anyways, first off, this knife. I forget that this knife's even in the game sometimes because no one fucking uses it. And every time I see it, it just looks a little weird to me. Plus the animations are like, meh. I do not like the animation where it's like they're holding it like this. I don't. It just looks stupid to me. And especially with a knife like this, I feel like the animations should go way harder with this kind of knife. I will give this knife one compliment though. I don't know if it's this one or I'm getting a wrong one, but I think it's this one. There is one rare animation with this that is cool where he flips it up, like flips it and grabs it. Now that's pretty badass. But in general though, I just think the knife looks a little meh. I don't really like it too much. Not the greatest thing to me, so yeah. But that's my personal opinion. Bowie. Sorry, Bowies, but I do not like this knife. This isn't even a knife to me, to be honest. It's more of a fucking machete to me. Like, if I was out in a forest and I had one of those, like, tour guide guys with, like, the big ass or, like, the tan outfit with the hat, this is the knife I would feel like I would most likely see him using. Yeah, this knife is just, I don't know. It's so fucking huge. I don't know if I like it. It's like too big for me. Pause. It's too big for me to use. And I know this is a little complaint. Not many people talk about it. Not many people are going to care about it. But, you know, at first, well, funny enough story with this. When I first looked at this knife, I watched a video on it. And the left hand wasn't there. And I was so confused because I'm like, why isn't the left hand there? I was like, is he a screen glitch? So I went to another video. All had the same thing. At first, that really didn't annoy me, but the more I see it, the more it kind of fucking annoys me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it just kind of fucking annoys me. I can't. With the no left hand shit, it kind of annoys me. So yeah, I feel like this is an understandable put for me at least. Sorry to all the people out there. Oh yeah, real quick, I'm gonna change this up a bit. Yeah, I'm putting this paracord at the bottom of C. It's very close to D, I'm not gonna lie, but the thing is, the paracord it's like kind of alright. It's kind of unique, I guess. I mean, I guess this one could be considered unique. But yeah, anyways, we're gonna get into the paracord. The paracord, shit. It literally looks like someone took a blade part, ripped it off of the sword, put it on a like little broken handle, then wrapped this whole little wrap shit around, and that's the paracord. I've only seen the paracord look good once, and it was when I was way younger and I first looked at this knife. It was a fade. A paracord fade was the only thing I thought looked good. But now looking at it, it's like not even that good anymore to me. This knife is just, it's not that good. I just don't think the paracord is that good. It's just too much. It has all right animations, but not the best, and it's not really that good. It's just not that good of a knife. I would honestly rather have these two preferred over this, personally, for me. But I don't think it's down here with these shit stains, personally. I just think it's a little bit alright. Like, if I see it, like, you know, if I see these knives, I'm automatically just kind of fucking annoyed. But not really annoyed, but, like, I guess I should say I'm not really annoyed. I'm more of just, I don't know. Just don't like these knives, so. But if I see a paracord, I like kind of accept it, but it kind of like, man, that's kind of shit still. But yeah. But anyways, good choice. Let's see. We're gonna put the gut knife because the gut knife's a C tier knife to me. Sorry guys. I think the gut knife is definitely right here in between these two because I think the Bowie is the best C tier personally though, and I do think it's better than this knife. And let me explain that real quick. The Bowie, you know, or not the Bowie, the gut knife. The gut knife is of course what I consider the fisherman's knife. The gut knife, I've seen a couple. They're not too bad, but they have like the gut knife has to be in a good like thing though. It has to be in a good phase, or it has to be in a good Doppler or a good fade or a good wear really, or something good for it to look good. I feel like. And that's the only problem with the gut knife, because you can't tell me you would buy a rust coat gut knife unless you were going for a whole rust inventory. Then go for it. But the rust coat gut knife, you can't tell me you intentionally like that. I mean, you just can't. And I do think the gut knife is all right in a good wear, though. Like the pull out animation's not too bad, but that's about it. Once you do the insect animation, it's just like, same shit. So yeah, it's an all right knife, just not that good. Not that good. But yeah. All right, I think I've gotten all of my C tiers out. Actually, we might do one more, and that might be the Ursus. But actually, no, we're not putting the Ursus there. But the Ursus will be our first B, though. The Ursus knife is just, it's mid, honestly, to me. I keep thinking about it. It's mid. The Ursus knife, here's the thing with the Ursus knife. It's the box cutter's knife, all right? It really is. But the Ursus knife has some good animations, though. Especially the flip one where you're flipping it and he's like doing that backflip kind of thing with it. That is cool. Especially the sounds it makes and everything. It's cool. That's cool. And sometimes a lot of Dopplers and shit can look good with an Ursus. Plus, you have that occasional. I think the Ursus has a rare animation where he throws it up and grabs it. That's not too bad either. The Ursus to me is just kind of like a mid knife. It's very close to this just because it does kind of look like a box cutter to me. But yeah, the Ursus is not too bad. It's just not the greatest knife either. So yeah, we're just gonna put it there. Next up, the Falchion knife. I think this knife gets a lot of hate for no reason. But at least that's what I see. And from what the people I talk to who hate on it. The Ursus knife is not, or Ursus, fuck, sorry. The Falchion knife is not that bad. The Falchion knife is pretty good. The only problem I always see with the complaints and stuff with is the pull out animation, which the flip up, like I said earlier for this, it's just this knife is shit. The Navajo, the flip animation's open. I don't really care for. It's like, whatever. I think this knife would definitely be more A tier if the pull out animation, though, was the inspect. Like when he pulls it out, he does like the inspect pull out and then pulls like, does a little flip and then pulls the knife out. Something like that, I think would look better with the Falchion, but either way, though, this knife is not too bad. Good animations, not a bad looking knife. Plus, when you get like Dopplers and shit on it, it covers the entire knife. It's like literally like you went into a fucking cave, saw a big ass, like imagine having your emerald. You go into a big cave and you just grabbed a big ass rock with an emerald knife on it and you just grab that shit. It looks like you literally made the knife and the handle just fully out of emerald. And it looked cool. I mean, I don't think it's a bad knife. I really don't. I think people kind of shit on it a little too much. I don't think it deserves the hate. I think it's very overhated sometimes. I will say. I think it is very overhated. We are going to be putting the classic knife next. Yes, I do think the classic knife is a little bit better than the pouch knife. And here's why. Because I think the classic knife, it's not up here, but it definitely is still an alright knife. You don't also see this knife a lot. It's very kind of unique. Plus, to me, this knife has pretty good animations too. You know, you flip it, you got the flip animation where you're flipping the knife, and then, you got, the pull out where he's like this with it. It's not bad at all. And plus, like, the wears on it, like, the shit you can get on it, like I remember when I was younger, like, and I saw a classic knife. A classic knife fade was like my dream knife. And it was my dream knife, but of course now my mind's changed. The classic knife though is not a bad knife. Plus it doesn't look bad. The blade looks good. And the knife just doesn't look bad. It's very unique and nice. I think it's a mid knife though. Like, it's in the middle here. Like, I don't think it's the best knife. I don't think it's a great knife. But I don't think it's a bad knife either. I think it's just kind of in the middle. Like, if I see it, I'm genuinely just, like, not mad or upset. I'm just kind of like, yeah, that's nice. You know, so, yeah. Also, I'm going to be putting this somewhere in here, too. And these. Okay, let's go ahead and get this. I think this is, like, one above this. The Nomad knife. I don't see the Nomad knife a lot, but I do think it's a kind of mid-tier knife. I don't think it's bad either. I think it's kind of all right. I don't think the problem with the special animation when he's like flipping it is that it's not really like it's not too flashy, but I don't think the knife's either bad as well because I do think the knife does look all right. I do think it looks all right, and plus it's not a bad knife to have. I feel like I've seen this thing a couple times in different like wares and all that, and it doesn't look bad either. It's kind of like just like it's like what I would imagine like someone who's got like a pocket knife on them, like prepared to fight, would have on them. I don't know. It just doesn't look too bad. I think it looks all right for what it is. So yeah. Let's put the Huntsman in there. I'm gonna put the Huntsman in between these two because I do think the Classic is better, but I do think the Huntsman's better than the Falchion. The Huntsman. The Huntsman was the first ever nice knife I had, and it was a Fade Huntsman. And this knife is not bad. The pull-out animation's sick, and the knife itself does not look that bad. I don't think it looks bad. It kind of gives me like BO2 vibes knife. I don't know if that's the knife in BO2. I'm thinking of some kind of BO where they're in Black Ops where there was some kind of knife. It gives me very Black Ops vibes, but I don't think it's also a bad knife. I think it's very all right because the finishes are good on it. The pull animation is not too bad. I mean, the inspect is just normal inspect, but still though, this knife does not look bad and the animations are pretty all right. I think it's just an all right knife, personally. Now, what will be the top of B? Because I know we're still not done with B. We got one more B. And this one might piss a lot of people off because I don't know how people feel about this knife, but the Stiletto is a top B tier for me. I'm sorry. The Stiletto is a top B tier knife for me, all right? And let me explain why. So I don't want to sound like a basic bitch and say because of how small it is. But I will say I just do not like this. Or it's not I don't like this knife. I just don't think it's better than a lot of the knives I'm going to be putting up here. And here's why. The stiletto knife is all right. It's got a good pull out. It's, the animations are all right. The rare animation is pretty good where you're flipping it. But, it's still got that, like I said earlier for this knife, it's got that shit inspect where he's fucking holding it like this. And I don't like that inspect. It looks stupid to me. It looks like he has like a jar in his hand and he's just inspecting. It's like, I don't like that inspect. The stiletto knife I don't think is either in C though either because I do think it's an all right knife. I do. I think it's all right. I don't think it's bad. It always kind of makes me laugh because it's kind of like it's like a little sword basically. Well, obviously it's a knife, but it's always funny to see if somebody gets a knife kill with this because it's like you're just pricking them a bit because of how small it is. But yeah, also, but I just don't think this knife just gets up here. I think this knife can be overrated sometimes to even people putting it in S. I'm just like, meh. I don't know about that. Like A is an understandable one for some people because some people do like this knife, and I get it. It's other people's opinion, but in my personal opinion, I think it's a mid knife. The finishes are not too bad on it, and the animations are okay, but like everything else, it's just like eh. Plus, I feel like when you get like a Doppler or something, you really want the color to fucking show. You want to see it, and yeah, this is just like you barely little see it, like not really much. So yeah, I will give it though. When you do get a Doppler on it, it does cover the knife, like how I argued with the Falchion. So you know what? Hey, it does something good there. But hey, it is a top of the B tier list, and now, of course, we get into the A tier, baby. Let's get started on A tier. So our first A tier knife is, of course, I think the flip knife. The flip knife is an opper's dream knife, I feel like. I feel like I always will see an opper use this knife. The flip knife is just sexy. The flip knife is sexy for an opper. It's not a bad knife. It's good. The fucking finishes on it are pretty good. It's just not a bad knife. It's pretty good. And it's like the opper's dream knife, you know? It has an alright pull animation and everything. Like, I just think this knife is pretty alright. So, yeah, that is my opinion on the flip knife. I really don't have much to say about the flip knife, sorry, but it's just the flip knife is just. It's good to me. It's just a good knife. It's not great, but it's good to me. And it's like the opper's dream knife. So, yeah. Put it here now. I don't know how people are going to feel about me putting this above the flip knife, but I think the skeleton is above the flip knife. And here's why. All right. The skeleton is a cool ass looking knife. All right. And especially when you get that rare animation where you flip the thumb out. But the problem with that also with the skeleton knife is you're not getting that every time. And the pull animation is just like that, where he just pulls it out basically. And it's all right. And my main problem with the skeleton knife is I do like it a lot better, and I do think it looks cool. It's like a fucking kunai, basically. But the only problem I have with it is we don't have any Dopplers on it or anything, and it upsets me. And don't get me wrong, a skeleton fade looks good, but dude, imagine like a phase Doppler 1 or like a just phase 1 or a phase 2. Like just imagine how beautiful. Because personally, to me, if it got phases and everything, S tier knife. But because it's like just kind of like got fade and that's about it. And I'm not saying fade's bad. Fade's a good finish, of course, but I just think it could be better. Next up, we have got, this is gonna be wild, but the bayonet, the normal bayonet. Oh, I get up there. The bayonet is a good knife. It used to be really favorited before when I, at least from me, I used to favor it a lot. I used to even compare it to the M9. I used to think they were equals. And here in a minute, I will get why M9 will be better. But anyways, the bayonet though is definitely still not a bad knife. It's still a pretty good knife. The pull out animation's cool. It's like you're doing like wizardly, like you're just making it flip and you're opening it and you're just grabbing it out. It's not a bad knife. It's a big knife. Makes you feel classical, like I'm in a war, because it's like this is a knife I like imagine like would be used in a war. So yeah, I don't think the bayonet's bad. I think the bayonet is really good, and it's got good finishes. And yeah, the bayonet is a pretty good knife, definitely. And now the top of A tier. All right. All right, the top of A tier is the Talon knife for me. Why do I put the Talon knife up here? Because the Talon knife is just such a sexy knife. I've owned one before, and it was a phase 1, I think, Doppler. Is it phase 1 or phase 2? I don't know, but it was a blue. And the knife was fucking nice. Dude, the animations on this thing is beautiful. This knife with the animations, just like so fucking beautiful, so sexy, and everything else. And this knife is just good too. Like, it's so close for me to putting an S tier, but the problem is though, there's just like another knife that kind of like looks really kind of cooler than it. But because I mean, I'm not saying this knife looks bad, but it looks very like it's about to fucking break. It looks very flimsy, but this knife is still cool to me though. It's still cool. It's badass. All right. That's all I really had to say about the Talon. I do love the Talon. All right. Now, of course, you can already see the S tier options. Now, I know what you're wondering. What's going ahead of what? I think this goes down to the bottom. And let me explain why. All right. Listen, the Karambit, a classic gym. When you think of Karambit, you think of CS a little bit. That's what I think of, at least. When I think of a Karambit, I think of CS Karambit, like a Gamma Doppler or some shit, like a beautiful Karambit. But My problem with the karambit is I wish it had animations kind of like the Talon knife. Because my thing is, it's very like it's a sexy looking knife, but the animations are kind of like just all right to me. You know, you've got the pull out animation, which is cool. I think he does like a little flip thing. That's pretty cool as pull out. But um inspecting it though, it's just kind of like basic and all that. And I wish it had other animations. Like I wish you could kind of spin it like the Talon knife. But still, this is still an S tier knife, and it's still pretty good. Like normally when I see this knife, I think that thing looks sexy. But the problem with a karambit too is, not everywhere looks good in a karambit, and the reason for that is you can't tell me like other shit looks better. But when it's got like a Doppler though, or like a fade on it, it's a beautiful ass knife. It's beautiful. I mean, I don't know what to say. I know this is going to be basic bitch, basically, of S tiers, but, what can I say? These are just the best knife. Now, I'm going to explain why the M9 bayonet is in S tier. The M9 bayonet, man, it's just, listen, before, I didn't understand the hype around the M9 bayonet. I thought the M9 bayonet was at par with the regular bayonet. I thought they were equals in my mind. That was until I owned an M9 bayonet. I do own an M9 bayonet, and it is sexy. The pull animation is fucking immaculate. It's honestly probably one of my favorite pull-out animations, and the knife itself is nice. It's big, it's nice, like it makes you feel like a fucking soldier when you're holding it just right there. It makes you feel like a man. The knife is beautiful, and in everywhere it just to me looks good either way. Even in a fucking ultraviolet, it looks good. Or whatever it's called. I think it's called an ultraviolet. It looks good to me either way. The M9 bayonet is a sexy ass knife and definitely deserves to be in an S tier spot. It's beautiful. But this is just, I mean, I get it. I have a basic bitch top tier S tier. But listen, you can't say I'm wrong though, because like, dude, the butterfly knife. I know we just switched off from the M9 without even saying, but yeah, the butterfly knife is my top S tier, and here's why. All right, the butterfly knife is just fucking sexy. It's sexy. It's beautiful. All right. I get it. A lot of people can have it and they'll be distracting themselves in game, fucking flipping around 40 times because, oh my gosh, I got a bayonet, so I'm going to flip it around 400 times. But you can't tell me that animation though doesn't make you think badass. Especially the thing with the butterfly knife is either with an op or an AK, it still looks fucking sexy. You get an op shot, you pull it out, you're flipping it out, looks sick. You get a fucking AK spray down, you pull it out, you look sick either way. Like, and everything in this knife, just like every wear to me, just looks beautiful. Now, there are, of course, some shitty wares. I mean, honestly, you could say that about any of these knives. Even if they're your favorite or not, you can admit that some knives in certain wares look like shit. But still, though, this knife just looks sick to me. And especially if you can get it in a good wear, which is really hard because, like I said, like I said at the beginning, butterfly knives, I was explaining with the butterfly fade. Butterfly knives are just expensive as fuck, but they are sexy ass knife. Like if someone showed up in my game with like some nice ass shit, like a Doppler or something, oh my gosh, beautiful ass knife. The butterfly knife will always be probably the coolest knife to me in CS, and that's just my opinion. Hey, I would like to add this little part in too. On my video of the knife review, this is a little add-in, but I forgot to do the Kiriki knife. I would put Kiriki knife probably next to on the right of the Talon. Kiriki knife, I'm gonna go ahead and go over it real quick. The Kiriki knife is an A tier for me because it is a beautiful knife and it's actually not too bad. I don't think the animations are too bad. I have a little bit of the problem with the pull out because it's very, I don't know, it's very Valorant to me personally, but yeah, the Kukri knife is definitely beautiful. All I can say to people who don't agree is, trust me, go into a workshop, pull out the Kukri knife, and get an op and use it with an op. Because that, honestly, the Kukri knife might take over being the op's like favorite knife compared to the flip knife. But anyways, I just want to add this part in. Not forget any knives, of course, with the Kirgi knife. We can't forget you, beautiful Kirgi knife. Anyways, here is my tier list, baby. We have got my tier list. Now, I don't know if y'all will like it. I don't know if you guys do or not. I'm sorry if I said some shit that offended you. If you have a knife, whatever. Trust me, I mean no hate towards you. It's not that I hate you or anything. If I said shit about your knife or anything, I'm not trying to diss you or anything. It's just this is just my thought process on these knives. It's just how I'm thinking on these knives. You know, obviously, if you think something's better than something, that's understandable. But I just wanted to share my opinion on what I think, in like my eyes, what I think are the best knives in CS. And yeah, this is my tier list. I know, very basic ass S tier, very basic ass S tier. I know, but you know, I still think it looks like a good tier list to me. So yeah. Anyways, thank you all for watching this video. Thank you all for watching my tier list. And you know, I hope I truly haven't pissed off anyone wherever I put their knives. If I have, I'm sorry. But anyways, hope you all enjoyed the video though. And I will talk to you all another day with some more content coming on the way. I'll let you guys definitely know that there's more content coming on the way. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a blessed day.
What the Sigma?